Okay, I'm back. Welcome. I'm Dr. Fat. I haven't seen you in a long while. Sometimes life gets in the way, but this is it. This is this, and that's that, and I'm back. But I'm only back for one day. I just looked at my emails and people when they see me, what happened to the race, whatever, this and that. Well, I'm here to tell you it was the worst call, not just in in horse racing. It was the worst call in all of sports in my lifetime. I was born in 1961. I never saw a worse call ever in my lifetime. And these will be the many reasons why. And I'm going to say it right off the bat. Number one reason, number two reason. Number one reason, it's the Kentucky Derby. Number two reason, that's horse racing. You're going to hear it on and on and on and on from me. Okay? That is my answer. Those two. And here goes. I've been hearing all this stuff about if it was the third race at Belmont or Evangeline and it was a $10,000 claiming race, uh, the horse that committed the crime would come down. That's laughable. Okay? Half the time, 50-50. I've been whacked so many times where the horse whacks into the rail. Jockey claims foul, the stewards claim foul, but the winner wins by two. He stays up, I go down. Dad, what happened? We lost, fool. That's horse racing. You're starting to get the drift. You're going to hear it a lot. This is a long, long show. Okay, so the stewards, oh, it's the third race at Belmont. He's coming down. Not necessarily. Like I said, I've seen 1,000 bad calls by the stewards. It's a hard job. It's not that hard, though. I could go right from this bed right now and teach the stewards. I've been gambling since 1966. I'm 58 years old. That's for 52 years of my life, I've been a gambler. I watched the races like a crazy man when I was 5 years old. It was life and death back then. My mother made me feel like I was poor. So I watched those races and any inquiry, studied the tape, whatever. Did he whack horses? Sure, he whacked horses. He gave them the old El Kabong, but that's horse racing. It's the Kentucky Derby. So enough about he would have automatically come down if it was the third race anywhere. Come on, the same guys saying that are the same guys I watch when because I watch cross country. So I don't even know who said it. I don't care. They're all good hosts. And after a bad decision is made, the host pops up and says, "I don't agree with that." So the same guy, I bet, says it, maybe doesn't even believe it. So, you know, that's the third race anywhere he does. I've seen them hundreds of times, and it usually happens against me. And I'm like, jockey foul, stewards put the light up right away. That's not what happened here. And he should come down, and it's clear. Kabong, whack somebody into the rail. They keep him up because he won by two. He was gonna win the race anyway. What happened to that philosophy? I remember they used to say, "Oh, we're adopting that now." Come on, stewards, get it together. But in this case, the worst call in the history of sports. Okay, first of all, it's the Kentucky Derby. What the heck does that mean, right? Here's the thing, only 20 horses in the world get to run in the Kentucky Derby. You only get one chance. It's not like the third race anywhere. It's the Kentucky Derby. It's a mile and a quarter. Most third races are a mile and a quarter. They're baby races, whatever, 6 furlongs, 7 furlongs, a mile. Mile and a quarter races aren't everyday things, okay? 20 horses. There's no 20 horses in any race. I remember loving Evangeline, the home of the cavalry charge, because they advertise we have the biggest fields in racing. Okay, we love it because it's bombs away. More kabonging, more bashing. I mean, come on, watch a race. Watch a race from the beginning. Let's go back to the last 30 years in the Kentucky Derby and watch all the El Kabongs. How about the day after the Derby? all the jockeys crying in the paper the next day about what happened. Go back the last 30 years and hear this guy whacked me. He should have been taken down. Every race, every Kentucky Derby race. I'm going to give a gift at the end. Okay. I'm going to give whoever's a smart guy out there a free gift. I'm going to give you the new technology I just thought up as I'm doing this rant for you guys to make millions of dollars. I make one request. We'll get to that at the end. So, the best horses in the best 3 year olds, only 20 qualified. You're not qualified for anything if you're a $10,000 claimer. Give me a break. So, the automatic claim that it would have happened anywhere, anytime, anywhere, maybe so, but mostly they get it wrong a lot of times. And the same hosts say, oh, bad call, especially when you bet the horse that's not being pushed up and you were whacked into the rail. Daddy, what happened? We lost. The other horse beat us by two. That's horse racing. You fool. Move on. Stop talking. Pick something, do something, shut up, pick the next race. Okay, so we got that first thing about the uh, the stuff about the claimers. It's the best horses. It's a mile and a quarter race. It's 20 horses. This particular race was an off track. Okay, not every day it's an off track. 150,000 people are at this race. It's the Kentucky Derby. 150,000 people aren't anywhere at any time at any racetrack anymore. They're all graveyards. I used to go in the 60s and 70s. They used to advertise, we beat out the Mets and the Yankees in attendance. We're New York Racing Association. And you could hear the death knell because I used to tell my father, I'm like, Pop, they're doing that and OTB's coming around. We're never going to the racetrack. Nobody goes anymore. You bet on your phone, your computer, your TV, whatever. So it's 150,000 people. That's the Kentucky Derby. The Belmont's going to be in a few days. There's no, well, now they get like 90 or 100,000. It never averaged anything like that. It was always 70,000. It's not. It's the Kentucky Derby was 150. I don't know. It's probably even more now. 170,000 they stuff into that track. Infield, outfield, everywhere. There's no infield at Belmont. There's no mud turtles in Belmont. We'll get to D Mud Turtle. He's gonna watch this, and Junior's coming on. But anyway, getting back to reality, and it's the Kentucky Derby. Another thing, $10,000 claimers. What's the purse? The purse is chump change. 20 grand, 30 grand, the 40 grand, whatever it is. The purse in the Derby is what, $3 million? That's a joke too. Change that. It's the greatest race in sports. It is the greatest race in horse racing. What is that thing in Dubai? 10 million? I heard there's another one now that's like 11 or 12. Well, if that's true, Derby should be 15 million. There's another difference between the Kentucky Derby and any race, anytime, anywhere, at any track. Come here. Paulie Rottenballs just dropped in. Come on, get over here. Come here. He lives. I did a thing on Paulie Rottenballs. He was in really, really bad shape, horrible shape. And I thought he was dead. He was skeletal over the winter time, but he kept eating. He's like Robo Eater, he's like an insane. So I knew, as long as he was eating, I was just getting him everything in creation to eat, but it wasn't working. And then all of a sudden, he started gaining weight. He lost his tooth. Here he comes. All right, so you can see him now. Here he is. He's not the late, great Paulie Rottenballs, but after this, he lost. Come here. Come here, Toby. Come here. All right, let's get him in the picture. There he is. All right, wait. I don't know how to get him in, but we gotta get him in. Hey, man. Good to see ya. You good, baby? Huh? Let's give him the chin. All right. There's the chin. There's the guy. He's alive and well. He loves his chinny chin chin. Good old Paulie Rotten Balls is back. Look how fat he is. Oh, you're so big. Oh, thank goodness you're alive. Paulie Rotten Balls back from the dead. That's I've come across now 5 of his 9 lives. The Kentucky Derby after I lost my mind when they put up Country House or Country Home or whatever the heck that horse is. I had him. Okay, I didn't bet him straight, nothing like that. I made a $960 bet, 8 times 8 times 5 times 6, 50-cent pick four. I don't know what that was. 940, 960, something like that. That's what I bet. And I had Country House or Country Home only because I was losing on Flavian Pratt over the last 2 days. Because I decided, I'm going to key on him. And he just lost race after race for me. So believe me, when they put him up, I could die. I lost because I didn't have Mr. Money. I won the first race. I had 8 horses in the second race and I played Mr. Moneybags. So you're listening to a moron. One of my father's things was you didn't play both monies, you didn't play both roses. That's a long time ago. But after I didn't play both roses, I always played rose. If I like a Joe horse and there's two junk Joes in the race, like Uncle Joe's and Joe's the guy, I'm playing both of them because I don't want to get beat by any of them because I like Joe, Super Joe, one of the guys, like Kenny K, D Mud Turtle. Even though he's not D Mud Turtle, I'm D Mud Turtle. Greatest, greatest designation I have ever received, D Mud Turtle. All right, let's get back to this. What are we up to here? Oh, the reality of the race. Did he actually commit the crime? What part of El Kabong is misunderstand? How could you not? He kabonged what? 2 horses, right? He took them out of the race. That's horse racing. It's the Kentucky Derby. It's 20 races. It's 20 horses, 20 of the best horses, not 20 horses that are in the claiming race where maybe 4 are competitive. It's 20 that earn their way in to the Kentucky Derby. Okay? Nobody's earning their way in anywhere, anytime, anywhere, at any track. Give me a break. Unless it's a stakes race. You have to be that quality. But it's the Kentucky Derby. So the reality is, did he commit the crime? So what? It's horse racing. You know. And the horse plotting, I'm hearing all of a sudden, he was like this jet on the outside. I have eyes. He lost by 2. This case, the horse that lost by 2, who wasn't even affected by the El Kabong, they put him up. You can't do anything about the horses he smashed into the rail. They were out of the money. So there's no repositioning them. Look, the stewards had a hard call, the whole thing. But look, you see the El Kabong, why didn't the lights go on? You're the stewards. You saw something, put the lights on. The jockeys had to put the lights on for you. I mean, everything. It took you 22 minutes. Come on. After the third, fourth time, if you're going to take the horse down, it's not taking 22 minutes. Who did he bong? Put him behind. Put him behind the horse he smacked. This isn't that hard. Come on. He never should have been taken down. That's my point. Okay, what are we up to? Oh, let's give the gift away. Okay. I'm stealing this from Peter Puck. That's why I want no part of, any money about anything. I don't care. Oh, by the way, I'm retired. Yeah, no more job. It's beautiful. Oh my goodness, I'm in bed right now. Here's Paulie Rotten Balls right there. He's alive and well. Let's give him a gift. He does what he's doing now. He chews a lot. Hey, Mush, Mush, get in here. Come on. Hey, Mush. Mush will be here because this rant has just started. You know, I do a song, The 12 Days of Christmas, because you know how much I love Christmas and how Christmas changed my life. And if it wasn't for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the most traumatic movie, not dramatic, traumatic movie, a 5-year-old, I still have nightmares over Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, okay? Watch show number 1, you'll understand. So anyway, watch out for that because I've already done that, but badly, and I don't record anything and I don't write anything down. So, you know, I just got to shoot like this. This is totally unedited. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm going to learn how to edit someday. But anyway, yeah, that's another thing. I will start like a Kramerica type corporation. I don't want Larry David or Jerry Seinfeld to be upset, but they understand New York and whatever, and I'm from New York, and they can lighten up and let one go, because I need like a Kramerica kid to follow me around because I don't know what's going on, but I know what I want to say, and I don't know how to edit, and I don't, this stuff, and I'm not going on this, and I'm not doing that, and I'm not checking the emails, and I'm not responding. These are things I'm just not doing. Um, so anyway, let's get back to why this was the worst call in racing. You're starting to understand it's the Kentucky Derby. It's not a $10,000 claiming race. The best horses and best 3-year-olds in the world are the best 3-year-olds that qualify, 20 best are there. It's a mile and a quarter race. This instant wasn't off track. 150,000 screaming people going nuts, where usually these horses run and nobody's at the racetrack. So they get spooked all over the place and do all kinds of things. And that's horse racing. That's what horse racing is. It's horse racing. Okay? It's an animal on top riding an animal, banging into each other. Who watched Seabiscuit? Those jockeys practically took out bats and were whacking each other during the race. Does anybody understand what horse racing is? That's horse racing. That's what happens. And it happened in the Kentucky Derby. And the horse that won didn't touch Country Home or Country House or whatever. And the only reason why I played the horse, I didn't even look at him in the form or anything, was I was playing Flavian Pratt. So by the time the Kentucky Derby was, I was like, oh, good. Flavian Pratt's not going to win. That's horse racing. Oh, burn, sizzle for me. I could hear after I didn't have Mr. Money, my father calling down from heaven. You moron. You had 8 horses. You played Mr. Moneybags and you didn't play the other money horse? Nightmares. Because I had bricks and mortar. Whoever won the race before Mr. Money, I had him. He was one of the favorites. I had 8 losses. Couldn't lose horses. Couldn't lose that race. In the bricks and mortar race, I played 5. I thought he could beat, so I played 4 against him. He won. The funny part was I didn't have the second horse. So I'm like, because I was rooting against bricks and mortar the whole time. But there's no point. I lost my money. My 940 or 960 or 980, whatever the hell I bet, 8 times 8 times 5 times 6 times 50-cent bet, I was a loser already after the second. So I was actually rooting for bricks and mortar to keep the price down because I bet 980. And when the Kentucky Derby winner, oh no, I'm forgetting his name now. Testament of Will. Oh, who the heck won the Derby? Well, anyway, the true winner of the Kentucky Derby, which now has left my mind. How sad. My mind has turned to mush. Hey, Mush, get over here. All right, maybe won't be in this at all. But anyway, now I'm blanking on the winner of the Kentucky Derby. I'm ashamed of myself. But anyway, um, you know, uh, Country Home, I'm glad for those owners. I'm happy. You won the Kentucky Derby, good for you and whatever. And the only great thing I can say to the Wests is you had the thrill of a lifetime. And I know you're really nice people. I know somebody that knows you, and she just has a glowing review of Mr. and Mrs. West. Gracious, generous, just beautiful people. So I'm happy for them too, because in my book they're the Kentucky Derby winners for sure. And they had that thrill of a lifetime for a couple of minutes before the jocks claimed foul, where the steward should have automatically have done it. So no disrespect to the winning connections. Good for you, Billy Mott. You beat me a million times. Now you just rubbed it in this time. Because what happened was, if I would have played Mr. Money, I had Country Home or Country House. What the hell was his name? I'm forgetting that too. I'm going through the reasons why the Derby winner should have stayed up. I can't even remember his name. I've lost my mind. I'm losing. I'm starting to stutter now. I'm getting so crazy, and I hear my father tell, "I'll smack that stutter right out of you." He used to say that, stop. stuttering, I'll smack it right out of you, or I'll smack the stupid out of you. That one's for you, Pop. And another thing, look, this is reality. My father's dead 2 years. He's not talking to me. Wake up. I'm not that crazy. Yes, I forgot the winner of the Derby, but I do remember who burned me for second because I was watching it and uh, the winner of the race wins the race. And Luis Saez, he's jumping around. Trainers jumping around. The Wests are happy. Everybody's great. Then a couple minutes it starts blinking. And I'm like, well, he's never coming down. And I could hear my father say, fool, you would have broke even anyway, because I know exactly what my father would have said after the race. Turn the channel, you loser. What's the next game? That's what he would have said to me. They're never taking him down. He won the race by 2. He's not coming down. Okay? That's horse racing too. Okay? It's the Kentucky Derby. So let's get to the gift. Okay? The gift is you do all of these what do you call it? TV graphics and Peter Puck like line tracer when they trace the puck in an NHL game, just trace the horses. It'll ruin horse racing, but trace it. Teach the computer how to, oh, he took my lane. He took my lane. Oh, excuse me. I am a 110-pound human being on top of a ton racehorse going 30 miles an hour. Excuse me, he took my lane. Oh, he knocked me into the rail. Excuse me, he sandwiched me, gave me the El Caban. It happens a lot. Nothing happens to the order of finish. Talk to the experts. There are no horse racing experts. They're experts at yesterday. They're not experts in the next 20 minutes. No human being is. Nostradamus wasn't. Sad to say, my mother, she was a big fan of Nostradamus. Mom, I wasn't. Nobody's predicting any future. She was an Edgar Casey fan. Yeah, come on, Edgar, let's go to the racetrack, see how. Oh, that brings up the challenge in the 70s of the psychics. Now I'm going way out. Now I'm just on a rant. I'm just starting to talk here. Uh, I remember in the 70s, I don't know, maybe 14, 15, whatever. And it was either in Aqueduct or Belmont because I never went to Saratoga when they actually ran. I was at the track. That's another story. But anyway, getting back to the psychics, okay? After the third, fourth race, the psychics were so scared of the public because they hadn't picked anything, nothing. And one guy was like, "Kid, what should I go? Look, just play the lowest number. At least 35% of the time you're going to be right. That's the favorite. At least pick a favorite. Stop trying to be psychic here. It's not going to happen." So there are no experts. There is no expert picking football games, baseball games. You are predicting of an event that hasn't happened, trying to predict a score, trying to do it by quarters or halftime or pick totals or spreads. Wake up. Those people don't exist. The best are the guys that pick the NCAAs, March Madness. That's too hilarious. After the first 3 or 4 games in round one, before the other like 60 games haven't even begun, they're done. And they sound like such Rhodes Scholars before the race. Like my father would say, this guy sounds like a rocket scientist before the race. Run the race? What was that moron talking about? Look, I'm not ripping on anybody, not calling anybody a moron. I love all those TV hosts. I think they're all great. Tony Stabile now is on board. I love him. Andy, I'm going to do a skit. Andy, my little brother. My father. Oh, you got to take care of little Andy. Get the racing form ready for little Andy. It's breakfast time. What does Andy want to eat? Okay, Andy, protect Andy, but when Andy's wrong, we destroy Andy. But we love Andy Serling. Well, my father's gone, so I'm left. But now you have Track Tracer. Okay, call it whatever you want, where you're following the horses, computer wise, all the way around, showing every time they take each other's lane, every time they cut off. So I've watched 4 horse races where they're boxed, banging into each other. Changes should have happened, never happened, never got taken down. Again, that's not the Kentucky Derby. This is the Kentucky Derby, the greatest horse race in the world. It should be a 15, it should be the highest purse, number one. And, you know, if, okay, here, let's throw out some ifs. If the winner would have crushed the second horse, Country Home, Country House, I can't even remember his name, Cottage Home, Cottage House. It was Flavian Pratt. That's the only way I had him. I didn't handicap him. Give me a break. That's horse racing. Handicapping. If it was an old girlfriend's name, if it was Mush or a Paulie or a fat name, if it was Red, if it was a cat horse, I'm playing them. And but I lost 72, 74,000. I didn't play Bluegrass Cat. I didn't even know Ramon was on them because they changed riders the day before. How about that? That's how stupid. Oh, I can't even say it. How stupid I am. You know my mother's last words to me. You are the dumbest human being I have ever known in my whole lifetime. People, this is who you're listening to. I can't pick horses. I may bet a little bit better than you. A lot better than you. And I'm going to prove that. And I'm also going to prove that horse racing, when you walk into a casino, go past the card table, past the roulette table, past the craps table. I'll show you how to count cards in 10 minutes. I can teach Paulie Rottenballs how to count cards. 1, 0, minus 1. 1, 1, 2. Excuse me. 1, 1, 0. 2. 1, 0, 1, 1. What's the count? 1, 0, 1, 1. What's the count? It's 3. Throw in some minuses. Start practicing flipping cards. Get your numbers down. It's very simple. You're just dividing the deck. 0. These numbers are 0. These numbers are minus 1. These numbers are plus 1. Repetition is the mother of memory. Rocky Graziano, circa 1972-73, New York City OTB commercials. Repetition is the mother of memory. Used to see him at the track all the time. Hey, kid, he never knew my name. I went up to him 100 times. Well, anyway, love the guy. Getting back to it. Back to the track tracer thing. Once the thing is developed and the computer starts showing every infraction, you'll never have a clean race. It'll be the worst invention ever made. It's an animal on top of an animal, and in this case, 20 animals on top of 20 animals in a skinny track, banging into each other, especially at the beginning of the race. Just to make a point, go back the last 10, 20, 30 starts of every Kentucky Derby. Watch how many fouls watch how many horses are whacked right out of the race from the very beginning. Anything can happen. That's a horse race. That's what Nick Zito was saying before Bernardini won. And I don't want to bring up what happened there, but they were like, oh, I remember the interview was clear as day. They were asking him, can this horse be beaten? And he goes, it's horse racing. Anybody can be beaten any day. That's what jockeys say. The great H.A. Jerkins, my favorite all-time trainer, to me, he was the greatest. I loved Jerkins. He scared the hell out of me. I was always in awe of this guy. I'd see him on the second floor and I'd try to stand near him. And if he would look at me, I was scared of him. Come on, Mush. Come on. Psst, psst. Get up here. Get in the show. So anyway, the Mush is alive and well, doesn't like where we are though, but I feel like I'm at the win. It's hilarious. I'm retired, and most people who retire actually should have money. I retired dead broke. It's hilarious. I'm down to my last $46, but things change. I'll be back. Don't worry. I'm coming back. But I don't want to come back now. I feel a little sad, and I'm not gonna explain why, but I'm going to be back probably in January, and you're going to see me every day. Paulie Rottenballs will be here. The Mush will be here. We'll be back, um, you know, stronger, bigger, better than ever. Um, I talked about pretty much everything. Oh, yeah, one more thing about horse racing. This is a great story. Have to tell it. Another one of my champion loser idiot stories. But this one isn't my fault. You're going to hear about, one of my all-time favorite riders, Marion St. Julian, and you're going to be, what are you talking about? And the guy I'll be talking about is dead. Rick Lang is gone. The late great Rick Lang. Loved the guy. All we did was wave to each other after the Marion St. Julian incident. I shook him up to the core. It was awesome. But anyway, getting back to it. Um, Beautiful story. Okay, everything happens in a horse race. Anything and everything. I've been 4 for 4 in a pick five. Had 4 out of 5 horses, back end loaded, totally ready to win. The only horse I didn't play won. Okay? Everything has happened to me at the racetrack. I have seen so much worse and nothing's happened. And in this case, the greatest race of all time, the worst call ever was made. If he would have whacked Country Home, you're the winner in my eyes, for sure. But he avoided almost everything. And just don't give me this jetting on the outside routine. He lost by 2. You had a mile and a quarter to get there. Jets on, jets off, jet boy, jet girl, blah, blah, blah. That's horse racing. How about oh, let's talk, that's horse racing, okay? All the joyous people walk into the track, la di da, everything is great. I have money in my pocket. I'm at the greatest place in the world, the racetrack. I'm going to do this. I'm going to see the beverage guy. I'm going to have a hot dog. I'm going to eat the clam chowder, throw lots of hot sauce. Everything's great. After 9 races, the mumblers and the grumblers come out. And the fecks and the fecks. That's my new thing. I'll be saying feck a lot. I saw an Irish movie where they said feck, and feck isn't a bad word. So I'm not going to, because it's going to come up. And if I'm quoting my father, especially when he's talking to me, and please, again, don't be offended by all this fat stuff. Look at me. Look, my dad used to call me. He used to, whatever mood he was in, and then he'd go singular, plural, whatever. Like, for instance, Mr. Jowls. Hi, Mr. Jowls. Good morning, Mr. Jowls. Did you have a nice losing day yesterday? You loser. Or go ask Jowls. Look, there's going to be a lot of things that I'm saying. Don't. Look, oh, here's the mush. Oh, the show's getting better and better. Come on, mush. Well, let me get him in. Are you in? Oh, there. Mush. Mush, go climb on something. Oh, there's the mush. Mush is a jumper. Mush is a true athlete. We'll get to that another day. But anyway, now you have Track Tracer where you can trace the horses all the way around, show every infraction, and ruin horse racing. All I ask is when you do make your millions, when it's time to throw away money, when your accountant, because you've been so successful and should be so grateful for the success you have for the idea that you invented it, and you can have it. I don't care. Just contact Dr. Fat. I'll tell you a couple of places to throw the money. That's all. You throw away money where, rich people at the end of the year, you got to give this away or you're going to lose it. Then you contact me. I'll help you out there. Fair is fair. It is my idea, but I don't want to be responsible for doing any damage to horse racing. I know, oh, getting back to that, this isn't going to do damage. It's just one person's opinion. And like I said, watch out for the 12 days of the Kentucky Derby. You know, I've had so many different. I just simply sing off of this page of little notes, and every time I sing the song, it comes out. Con- on the first day of on the first Saturday in May, my true love said to me, it's there. So I will be singing. Soon I'll be dancing. Look, I'm retired. Now I can't offend people I actually work for. They won't be upset with me anymore. This is the guy I go to see in the office. They'd be like, that's not him, number one. That's not him. I got you guys all fooled. It's not me. You think it is, it's not. But anyway, um, the worst call in the history of sports. We'll just recap. It's not the third race claiming race at any track. The best horses, the best 3 year olds in the world running it. You're getting the 12 days here. It was a mile and a quarter race. It's 20 horses. It is a cavalry charge. In a cavalry charge, things happen. That's horse racing. It was an off track on top of it in front of 150,000 people, unlike anywhere, anytime other than Dubai. I don't know what they get, but that race isn't as important. It just isn't. So oh, I'll do my Dubai story soon. That's hilarious. But we'll get back to Dubai because I love the track. It's, jet set all the way. I love that stuff. Did he really pull the El Kabong? Of course. He wackadoodled a couple of horses. That's horse racing. Those horses didn't finish anywhere. I've seen horses get wackadoodled and come back. Okay? How about a Fleet Alex and Jeremy Rose kissing the ground? And then they kissed each other in the winner's circle. They clipped heels. That's horse racing. He won. He won. This horse won by 2. He wasn't dying in the stretch. You don't know what the other 2 or 3 horses, if they were flying or dying. You know, I I have a tape, okay? The first show I ever did, Rafael Bejarano gave me the old okey doke, okay? It was a $600 bet. I'm 3 for 3, have two $40 horses. I'm looking to get, I played it for $1. It was a $600 bet. I'm lowest price, $67,000. And that's if Bejarano wins. Okay. And the race is run. Boom. All of my horses are, I had 5 out of 7. How could we lose, right? My horse is coming up the rail flying. Flying, it's Bejarano. I'm like, race over. He couldn't get through. Kabang, 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 kabang. It finally opens up. PJ Indy, not AP Indy. PJ Indy plods right by. And that bomb beats my bombs. I lose everything. $67,000. That's horse racing. I already did that show. It's in the can 11, 12, 14 years ago. And I said it then, and it's there in tape, and it's the actual, you'll know the horses, know the day and the whole thing. It's there. And I said it then, I say it now. That's horse racing. The worst call in sports history. I'm Dr. Fat. I will be back. I'm sorry about the mush. I guess wasn't in the mood. But hey, that's horse racing too. That's the way things go. I mean, you must be kidding me here. 20 horses off track, 20 of the best 3 year olds banging into each other from start to finish. The horse wins by 2 and you take him down. But you know what? That's horse racing too. And this burn that if I was alive, I couldn't imagine if I did play both money horses and got pushed up because I would have been one of those guys in 22 minutes mumbling and grumbling. Why are they taking too long to keep the obvious? Because I never would have thought, especially if I was 3 for 3, and I would have went from if the winner would have stayed up, okay, I would have got $1,100 back if I bet Mr. Money. I bet 960, so I'm just barely making my money back. So there is no win there. So believe me, when I started after about 7, 8 minutes, and then they go into the steward's room and start showing the stuff going on in there, I'm like, oh no, he's coming down. I knew he was coming down. It was way too long. And why do that too? That was so mean. Please, you could have got that over. I know I would have got it over in 5 minutes if I'm taking them down. The big deal is who cares well, you're supposed to, you're a steward, you have to make sure of the order of finish. So I shouldn't say who cares about the horses that finish completely, because you got to give the true order of the race. Really not that hard. I've watched more races than the stewards at any track. You know, 52 years of watching races. Day starts for me in Europe, stays in New York, then goes to Chicago, West Coast. So I start at when do the England races start? They start 5 hours earlier. So by 9 or 10, I'm losing already. and I gamble till 3 o'clock in the morning if I'm playing Busan. So give me a break. You don't watch more races than me. You don't get taken down more than I do. You don't get put up more than I do. You don't watch the ridiculous happen. If my father and I, and he was still alive, was with me on the opposite couch, and we were 3 for 3, and he would have said that's the gift of a lifetime being put up. And then all of a sudden, the 1100 you were supposed to get back becomes what did it pay? 45,000, 47,000 for the 50-cent pick four. That's why I'm going nuts here. But I've kind of disappeared from my hometown for 27 years. I've been in New York City. So a guy comes up to me, goes, John, I thought you were dead. And then the next question was, what did you think about the Derby? Everybody comes up and just, it doesn't even care how I am, haven't seen you in a while. What did you think about the Derby? Well, now you know. All right, I think I've done enough. Oh, wow, 41 minutes of blippity blappity blue. But anyway, Stewards, you blew this one. Sorry to say. Worst call ever. I'm Dr. Fat. I will be back, but I'm kind of sad now, but I'll be happy. Believe me. I can't be broke forever. All right. Best wishes to everybody. That's horse racing, both ways. He got taken down. That's horse racing. Oh, yeah. One of the stories that I forgot. Let me not sign off yet. One more time. Okay. I have had everything happen, and this is absolute proof because I'm pretty sure it was a computer bet. I don't know if you can go back 10 or 12 or 15 years, but I don't know. I haven't owned a computer that long. I have to go with when I had to start doing the billing in my office when I was forced. Well, anyway, that's another story. I've had everything happen to me. I'm 3 for 3 in a pick four. Okay. We win the last race. We win the ninth or the 10th race. It was at Aqueduct or Belmont or even Saratoga. It was a New York racetrack. We had 5 horses in the last race. We finished first and second. Didn't finish third or fourth, but finished first and second. Then third we didn't have, fourth we didn't have, and then the rest of the 3 finished out, whatever. So they start blinking. And I'm like, my father's like, pack your bags. We're going. They're just switching the order. You know, what do? Now, you got to understand, pack your bags means get on the boat. We're going to the casino. That's what it means. Okay. So it's zippity doo dah, you know, shine on me, sunshine, walk with me, world. It's a skippity doo dah day. I'm the happiest girl in the whole USA. And I'm singing and going nuts. And they take first down and second down. They took them both down. How is that possible? First time I've ever seen it happen since 1966. And the third horse becomes the winner. Are you kidding me? Stewards. And it happened to me. We had 5. We were back end loaded and we were rocking and rolling and doing the dance. I got to tell the goodbye to you story. Uh-oh. This is getting out of control. I went from talking about the worst decision in sports history to another, father-son debacle. You know the song Goodbye to You, of course, right? Love it, love her. She's great, love it, love everything about it. They named a horse Goodbye to You. This is when the 8th race, I think this is way back. This is when the 8th race was the end of the pick 6. Okay, not the 9th race or the 10th race like it is. Not the end of the day race. Ended the pick 6. We're 5 for 5, but this was like a skeletal. This was like let's a $64 or $128 bet. We had no money. Okay, we're 5 for 5. We have Goodbye to You. Race on. Goodbye to You gets off. Boom. Starts going. He's second. He's first. Then it's goodbye to you. Goodbye to you. Because he starts rolling in the stretch. And we have him. and we're singing goodbye to you. And my father's like, goodbye, baby. So long, darling. Goodbye to you. And we're dancing, and it's a pack your bags, and we're ready to go. And we're going wherever, casino, highlight, wherever we're gonna go. Hello, Mr. Stewart. Blink, blink, blink. Now, this race was hilarious, okay? This was a while ago. I don't think they were showing the head-ons. You know, they show the head-on replays now so you can see what happens in the beginning of the race. That's not what happened here, okay? We didn't see the head-on, okay? What happened was the race goes off. Goodbye to you wipes out 2 or 3 horses right at the beginning of the race. Now, I'm delusional because I'm not really watching it that way. Like, why did those horses drop back? Goodbye to you mugged them. That's why those horses dropped back. He mugged them. Chopper chopped too hard because I remember the chop, and I'm like, Daddy, why did Chopper hit him so hard? Daddy, why did the chopper hit him so hard? Oh, and he's like, you feckin' moron, he says to me. He goes, we lost. There are no pegs. Unpack the bags, you fool. That's horse racing. Everything has happened to me. And if it was, I'm actually grateful I didn't play Mr. Money because I can live with my overwhelming stupidity. I can live with it because I'm going to make bigger hits and it's going to be on the air. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm just sad right now, but believe me, I'm coming back. So I guess goodbye to you. That's how I'm going to end it. Goodbye to you. I've had 2 horses taken down where I've never seen it before in racing or after where they took down the first 2 horses. But goodbye to you. He did commit the crime. That's horse racing. He did commit the crime. He did whack the horses at the beginning of the race, and I think they put him last, and he won by 4. And we had our joy, just like I'm glad for Mr. and Mrs. West. They had their joy. They won the Kentucky Derby for a little while. And in my book, they'll always win the Derby. They're always the winners of the Derby, Mr. and Mrs. West. Beautiful people. That's the best place to end this. And to the winners, I'm happy for you too. That's horse racing too. You got the trophy, you know, and goodbye to me. All right? And that's that. I'll be back. Dr. Fat.